What's good, everybody? Welcome into Inside the Green Room with Danny Green. I am Harrison Sanford. A lot went down on NBA Wednesday. We're here to break it all down for you. The Knicks and Oklahoma City Thunder went head-to-head in Madison Square Garden. What did Mike Brown say about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander that has the internet talking? The Hornets went into Boston and smacked them on a back-to-back. Is it really time to believe in the Charlotte Hornets? We'll continue to look through the Eastern Conference as well. And also, there's this big game that's happening in the Atlantic Coast Conference, and Danny's going to recall some of his favorite memories in the Duke, North Carolina rivalry. With that being said, Danny, let's get into it. Knicks, Thunder, it was the game of the night, and Thunder ended up winning. It was a competitive matchup. I'll get into the stats later. If you didn't watch, I'll break down the stats for the fans in just a moment. But your immediate impression of both teams, what stood out to you?
Excuse me. I'm sorry. Say that again. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good. What stood out from that Knicks Thunder game in Madison Square Garden? Obviously, it wasn't the NBA Finals. We have to qualify that Mitchell Robinson didn't play. He's one of the most impactful bench players in the NBA. Jalen Williams didn't play. He's obviously the second wheel for OKC, but nonetheless, still a good game. And I think there was a lot of takeaways for both sides. 103-100 was your final. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander with 26 points. Cat with 17 and 7.
Yeah, I mean, obviously both these teams are the cream of the crop, right? Like you had some really good basketball. Some guys didn't shoot well. Some guys struggled. But before this game, I had some predictions. I had to make some predictions, a higher, lower of who was going to do what, when. And I guess the person that shocked me the most was Chet. I did not think he would get 28 or knock down threes, especially in the Garden at a big-time game in a big-time arena against – I thought Mitchell Robinson would play. So with Mitchell Robinson being out, that might have taken an effect because he would have been bully ball and trying to physicality, out-physical Chet and kind of wear on him some. But he balled out. He shot well. He played well. Stepped up to the stage because, to me, he's the guy that's kind of the most inconsistent out of the three. When you have SGA, J-Dub, and Chet, even though J-Dub this year has kind of been up and down because of injuries. But yeah, I got to give him a lot of credit and a lot of flowers for stepping up and kind of outplaying most of those guys on the other side of the ball. So, and we know he can bring to the table defensively how much of a factor he is protecting the rim. When he's making threes and actually being efficient and knocking down shots and doing what he does, it makes OKC very hard to beat, regardless of who's in or out for them injury-wise.
So I want to get into Chet's situation later on in just a moment. But yeah, they needed Chet, and they needed all of Chet's performance on the night. He finished with, let me see here, finished with 28 points, 6 and 11 from three. Didn't have any blocks, which is unusual for Chet. But they needed him because at times it took a while for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander to get going, and particularly in that first quarter, Danny, he picked up 2 fouls, so he had to sit early. He usually plays the whole entire first quarter, but he had to sit for a moment, and that's really where Chet kept things going for them. What I find interesting is that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander might have missed majority of the first half if he picked up his third foul, which did not happen. Mike Brown picked up his first technical foul of the season because as he was frustrated, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander went to the basket. Brunson had perfect position. He was there to take the charge, didn't get it, so Shai Gilgeous-Alexander only had 2 fouls in that first half. And I'm bringing it up because Mike Brown said after the game, in reference to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, SGA, he's a tough cover. He does a great job of convincing the referees, probably better than anybody in the league, that he's getting hit. Shade or no shade?
Absolute shade. But he's not the first to say this. Everybody knows. They call him the free throw merchant for it's a skill. He's very good at what he does. He knows how to use his body well. He knows how to get to his spot and rise over people. And if you try to dictate or predetermine where he's going and try to outsmart him, he's going to be crafty enough to make you foul him. You know what I'm saying? Like he's going to, you think you're going to chime his jump shot? No. You try to reach in or you cannot gamble and make mistakes on an IQ player like that. That's what makes him the most valuable player in the conversation the last 3 years. Because not only can he score, but he's really smart. So, yeah, he's definitely some shade there. But again, he's not the first to say it. A lot of people know how Shea plays, and a lot of the stars play in today's game. Like a lot of them live at the free throw line. So if they're not scoring well, they do a good job of mixing it up. If they'll find a way to get it going from the free throw line, or if they got it going from the outside, they're going to score in a multitude of ways: mid-range, floaters, threes, and then that free throw line. They know how important it is to get there and get easy baskets. So, yeah, I mean, not shocked by Mike Brown taking or saying what he's saying.
But then I think there's so I respect the art of drawing a foul, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like I watch somebody like Luka Doncic. He's a master at drawing contact, but he draws contact. Like he will get the guy. I think people are not happy with Shea at times because what he does seems to be a bit more flagrant in trying to sell a call or like when Luka gets fouled, he actually still gets fouled. Like
he gets people hit him. People hit him.
People actually
so Shea sometimes might not hit him, and you'll see a reaction or a flop or act as if somebody hit him. Is what you're saying, basically. He's very good at selling it or acting as if something happened that did not happen.
And I think that is what kind of irks some people. It'll be interesting to see how it kind of plays out. And overall, I'm going to be interested to see like the perception of the Thunder. They were like darlings last year. There's some people who hated on them. But if you throw in like Shea and then you throw in what Lou Dort did to Nikola Jokic the other night, tripped him, I'm just going to be curious. I'm just going to be curious to see what the public perception is or the social media perception is of the Oklahoma City Thunder. It has to be noted, though, Danny, Alex Caruso did hurt his hip in the game. I'm not sure how long that might be, but maybe even more importantly, Isaiah Hartenstein left with a calf strain, and you already know how calves go. So, we'll see what that might mean going forward. And that brings me to the one thing as it pertains to the Thunder and their chances to repeat as champions. Now, I was looking this up. So everything is, for the most part, obviously, if they're healthy, everything is peachy clean. But there's a scenario, Danny, where, like, I wonder, you're somebody who played played championship level basketball, how much does your future contract or your future standing with the franchise potentially impact your performance? Because like I saw tonight, Danny, the Knicks were getting the ball out of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's hands. They're saying, okay, Lou Dort, you're going to have to beat us. We're charging 2 at the ball. We're giving up. If Lou Dort beats us, Lou Dort beats us. And I'm saying that because on the books next year, Lou Dort, who changed agencies, by the way, he's with Clutch now, he's making $18 million next year, but that's on the team option. Isaiah Hartenstein's making $26.7 on a team option. And mind you, Chet Holmgren's salary jumps up to $41 million next year. So is there a scenario where that contract, maybe uncertainty, maybe plays into performances in the playoffs? It might not, but it might.
I think every contract situation plays into every night, every game, and not in a negative way. And there's a reason why some coaches or GMs would love to have or really like having, contract year guys on their team because they're going to play hard. Like they're playing for a contract every night. They're coming in and it's a job interview. So even guys that are being paid big money, that notice if they're playing well or playing hard every night, it's because they're probably looking to get a new contract. So yes, it definitely influences. It definitely has an effect on it, but more so in a good way. Like there's a hunger there. There's a second. There's a different perspective on trying to. Obviously you want to win. You want to play within the team and play team basketball. But you also want to play your best basketball individually. And that's not mean it's all about me, but I got to make sure I'm doing everything and showing it all and buying in to what they're asking me to do. And also showcasing myself. It's a job interview night, and not just for my team that I'm playing on, but other teams as well. So yeah, contract year, if you don't get an extension, or if you haven't gotten an extension, or you're up for contract and it's a team option or it's a player option, whatever it is, or you're about to be a free agent, you're still coming in playing your best basketball because that it could possibly mean you're like being out the league or a very small payday or a really big payday for you the following year.
I mean, I'm not trying to create no controversy. I just find it at some point, this OKC structure is going to have to change. Like it's just they're just going to be too expensive. So I'm just curious what that means for the performance of the team as they know it's coming. Lou Dort is not guaranteed next season. Isaiah Hartenstein's not guaranteed next season. And who knows who might not be guaranteed next season because they're trying to afford SGA, Chet, and Jay Will. So
they'll decide who they want to keep out of the other pieces. But I don't think it affects them. These guys know that, and they're playing for a contract either with that team or another team. So they're looking to get extended or picked up by somebody for what they're worth or even more. You know what I'm saying? So knowing that, they're going out. And again, I don't think it affects the group play or the chemistry in any sense. I think it's only a plus that you have guys that are under contract and looking for another, like a next one after that year, because you know they're going to come in night in, night out and go like try to showcase everything they can do.
I'll tell you this, the way Jared McCain is playing for them and the way Cason Wallace plays basketball, on top of the fact that we haven't seen AJ Mitchell in a while, the rich get richer, and who knows what they're going to do at the draft or the capital that they have, particularly in a stacked draft like this, man. It's scary. It's still scary hours for the Thunder. On the other side, New York Knicks, I mean, yes, am I a fan? Of course I'm a fan. But I'm also Danny, that I'm a realist. And I thought the Knicks showed well tonight. No Mitchell Robinson, Jalen Brunson shot poorly. I did not like how difficult or how Cat had to work for his offense only by rebounding. I felt like
he showed up big though. He rebounded well. They don't find plays for him, but that's the Cat that you need. Like, and that's if you want to win games and be in the finals, if he plays like that, you have a really good shot at being there. You know what I'm saying? Like, not many times that the team's going to struggle shooting like that. And mind you, there's not many times where if he's playing well like that, they don't find him. Like, if he's playing well, you gotta feed him, find a play, give him a bone, like do something to make the guy feel a part of the group, embraced. Right. So him balling out. Jalen Brunson shot pretty bad. OG struggled a bit too to start. I think he was, when I looked at it, it was like 1 for 10 from three, or
he finished 4 of 13. Yeah, he struggled too. I mean, it's OKC. I mean, they had Cat out there looking like Mitchell Robinson at times, just grabbing rebounds, which is crazy to me. But I will say this though, Danny. Not just tonight was just something that it would just reinforce something to me that I still maintain this. The Knicks, in my opinion, should be the favorite to go to the NBA Finals. And I used to say that, Danny, because I just thought they had too much frontline talent. Little did I know that the Knicks, with Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns as primary players, can actually have a top defense. In their last 18 games, #1 defensive rating. And Mike Brown has alluded to the fact that they kind of changed their defensive principles halfway through the season, and now it's starting to click. But Danny, that was my biggest worry. How in the hell? I thought when Mike Brown came along, it was like, okay, our defense might still be our defense, but we're about to have one of the best offensive ratings in the league. We're about to score 125 a game. Nobody can keep up with our starting lineup, and it hasn't been that. It's been something totally different. But the results, you get the big win against the Spurs on Sunday. They had that big win at Madison Square Garden. They came back from 18 down against the Rockets. They went into Boston and smacked them. They only lost by 3 to the Thunder without Mitchell Robinson. I mean...
No, they hooping, man. Mike Brown's a defensive coach, in my mind. I had a chance to experience it briefly my rookie year to being coached by him, but didn't play much that year. But and I mean, even offensively, I feel like it's a little bit smoother than what it was in the past. And you see Brunson off the ball more, like him having 15 assists shows some growth in the offense, even though they didn't shoot well. But they're doing a little more balanced scoring, a little more sharing the ball. But defensively, even with Mitchell Robinson not playing, like they're showing the strides they need to show. You know what I'm saying? OG, Mikal Bridges need to be juggernauts on your wings as defensive pieces to where you can cover for a Jalen Brunson. You know what I'm saying? Like Mitchell Robinson, Josh Hart, those guys. And there's no reason why Cat can't at least rebound. Not saying you need to be the best rim protector. But if you rebound, that's a big part of defense. So that can be a huge deal if those three guys are doing their part. So that's the reason why I had them as a favorites, because I thought they had the pieces defensively because of Mitchell Robinson and Cat. Like, just take up so much space and they can rebound and protect the rim. When I saw them playing against the Spurs in that cup game in Vegas, I was like, oh, like, this is a matchup problem for them. Like, they're a problem. Like, this big lineup and how big they can play big, they can play small. And of course, Jalen Brunson and OG is always the right place at the right time, somehow getting an easy backdoor dunk. Mikal Bridges is kind of the same. Like, if it's not OG, it's Mikal Bridges. And then Josh Hart is going to knock down a big shot for you and get a rebound, push pace to like coast to coast, get you a little Euro step to that right foot, left hand finish, whatever the hell. It's always left to right. Yeah. It's the same, you know what I'm saying? Like that left hand, so yeah, man. So when I saw that, I'm like, defensively they can give Spurs problems. They can definitely give anybody else in the East problems.
So, and what's difficult for me, Danny, a little bit as a journalist is like, okay, I am a Knicks fan, but I like to think that I'm not biased. I also work for MSG Network at times. So like, I don't want to seem like I'm a Knicks supporter, like, because again, I'm not trying to be biased. I could call it straight when I see it straight. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I think, and what we were hearing, especially when the Knicks were like, even when the Knicks lose one game, all of a sudden they suck. They're inconsistent. There's no way they're going to the finals. There's no way they can't be favorites to go to the finals. And
they're not good enough. They're not doing enough. They're not showing us enough that they want it. They want it.
Right. And so, hold on, my microphone fell out. And so for me, for me, it's like, and what maybe players have to deal with, and I hope you collude on this, it's just a different type of coverage when you're playing for the
major market.
When you're playing in a major market, man. It's when you're bad, you're the worst of the worst. When you're good, you're gonna win a championship. And I think that's what, like, if I was Karl Anthony Towns, I would just I couldn't take it listening to the media,
because no way.
You would think he's chopped liver.
Yeah, the way they get on him, bro. Again, out here in LA, I was just talking to my neighbor, and they're just so frustrated with DeAndre Ayton. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody gets the backlash in every group and every city and a team. It's on a smaller scale in the smaller markets. When you're in it's just magnified times 10 when you're in the bigger market, because they're always going to talk about the Lakers. They're always going to talk about the Celtics, the Knicks, those type of teams. So yeah, you better be ready. If you're going to losing streak, they're going to have at you. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you're in a smaller market, you might get a little grace. They might not notice it as much. It might not be the sky's falling. But if you're a major market team, you throw all your goals and dreams out the window once you lose, 2 games in a row. Nah, they're not worthy. That's what comes with the territory, and that definitely weighs on you as a player, weighs on you as a group, as a team, as a coach. You see a lot of those guys getting gray hairs. We seen JJ last year, how frustrated he was at times. I think he's doing better learning to like pace himself at it, because like, we got 82 games, bro. The game 3 in the season, you can't be bugging out. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to chill with the media. You're going to lose your hair, or it's going to be really silver. So, but yeah, it just comes with the territory, and that's why before you take those type of jobs or end up in those type of cities, you better know what you're signing up for. And most guys go in like, oh, they're ready to take on the challenge. They just have no idea what it's like until they're under those bright lights and that microscope, and everybody in the world is cyberbullying you.
Right. I mean, I could imagine you probably had, you've had bad stretches when you were in Toronto. You had bad stretches.
Yeah. And it was frustrating at times, the local teams, you're like, but it ain't on a big national scale like it is with the Lakers, bro. Nowhere near it. And but also I will say there is good with that too. Like, you might hear from some people you never thought you'd hear from. You might get love and support from a Jamie Foxx, who reached out, like in the bubble, who reached out to me. You know what I mean? Certain actors reach out to you. I'm like, oh shit, I didn't even know even knew who I was. But they're like, yo, keep at it, keep your head up, keep doing your thing. Like, that's the fire part of it. But on the other side of it, it's like, damn, everybody on my fucking head. You know what I'm saying? So like, once you miss that shot, it's like, yo, you might want to turn off your internet or your social media. And at that time, thankfully, I was older, so I'm just like, whatever, man, the fuck it. Like, I'm going out and busting my ass at a basketball game end of the day. You know what I'm saying? Like, this doesn't define who I am, but I'll figure out how to bounce back. You know what I'm saying? So I've been through enough to know, like, this ain't the end of the world. But if I was 22 years old, 21 years old, like that college kid, like, that could make or break somebody's career or their life. You know, like some guys just, we've seen some guys really have life-changing experiences when it comes to certain things, when it comes to basketball and sports.
I wonder, I know we end up going back to this maybe too much. I wonder, and this is no shade at the Philadelphia sports fan, but I wonder how Ben Simmons' career would have been if it happened in any Midwest, South,
like if he's Indiana,
West Coast, if he's in Indiana. If he was in Indiana,
Milwaukee,
Portland, you know
they still would have gave it to him because he was such a known because he dated a Kardashian. You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh yeah, he
did.
You
know what I'm saying? He did
put himself on Front Street.
When you put yourself in that realm, like Chris Humphries, it don't matter what team you play. You're just an automatic star. You know what I'm saying? Like people come to see you. Like you. A lot of people don't know what Chris Humphries as a fucking basketball player is because he dated a Kardashian. But once he dated a Kardashian, married one in 6 months, like he was a rock star everywhere he went. I heard the story, and he played for the Nets at the time. You know what I'm saying? Like the Nets weren't good. I think they were Jersey.
He was
at the
a
time.
rock star with the Nets.
He's a rock star as a New Jersey Net, not a Brooklyn Net when they had KD, Harden, and you know what I'm saying? So even the same with Lamar Odom, like he played in LA, but like even when he went to Dallas, but once you get that extra boost, like I've had this debate with many people, and I'm not trying to take anything away from any of these guys that dated them. But a Kardashian puts you just on another level. Like even I had debates with Travis Scott. Like he's a very good artist, but you better believe like him becoming like more global and national. Like
100%.
Ye is global national for sure. But you better believe like it's a both sides. They get more culture from the hip hop from side of it too. But you better believe those careers have been maximized. You get that boost when you get that Kardashian name behind you. So yeah,
you're right.
That's why
Ben
had more so. I mean, is that Philly? People don't look at it as a major market, but it is, and it is one of those. It's not much a cyberbully. It's a bully city, and it'd be in your face, blue collar.
Oh yeah, up in your face.
But if he didn't,
they don't have to go to Twitter in Philly to get at you.
Nah, they come into your crib. They come right to the facility at your corner store breakfast shop. You bum ass. You can't play like, you know what I'm saying? They bully face to face. But yeah, it would have been different for Ben if he probably didn't do the reality lifestyle or TV or fashion. You know what I'm saying? Like he lived it. You know what I'm saying? He put himself in the Hollywood limelight.
For sure. All right, let's keep going with the Eastern Conference. That was a good discussion about the Knicks. Let's talk about the Charlotte Hornets, who have been overly impressive since the beginning of the new year, Danny. Now, I'm going to give you some stats.
To say the least, goddamn.
I'm going to give you some stats about the Charlotte Hornets, who are absolutely balling. Hornets have won 6 straight games by 15-plus points, the longest streak by any team since when, Danny?
They have the longest streak of, what is it you said? 18
Six straight games winning by 15-plus points. Who's the last team to have that streak?
Golden State.
2017, 2018 Golden State Warriors. It's tied for the second longest streak in NBA history. Let me give you some of
that's kind of crazy that the Charlotte Hornets in the same conversation as probably the greatest team in history assembled. Like, you know, obviously the Bulls, but bro, KD on the Warriors was an OD. Like, that's a cheat code type of team. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're probably the best team ever created. So continue. The Charlotte Hornets in that conversation.
It's unreal. Let me give you some of their notable wins since the new year. Tonight, by 29 against the Boston Celtics, by 10 at the Rockets, by 27 at the Magic, by 23 at Denver, by 18 at Lakers, by 27 at the Thunder. The Charlotte Hornets have won 10 straight road games, Danny. Since January 22nd, number 1 in offensive rating, number 1 in net rating, number 7 in defensive rating, and the starting lineup of LaMelo Ball, Con Knipple, Brandon Miller, Miles Bridges, and Moussa Diabate by leaps and bounds is the best 5-man unit in the NBA by all like net rating and offensive rating and defensive rating. They have like a 137 offensive rating and like a 103 defensive rating. They are incredible.
Yeah, it's a very good belt.
Bruh.
They are whipping ass.
Bro, they are
good leather.
Absolutely whipping ass. Now, I have my opinion on what makes them so. I have some idea on like what is really making them work. And I will say this: if you remember when we did the preseason show, or we did some of our preseason previews, remember we did top 5 players with something to prove. Remember, I had LaMelo Ball as my number 1 because he's too talented not to be in a winning situation. Oh, well, he's winning,
or to at least make his franchise more seriously taken.
Right. Yeah. And now what I can appreciate about LaMelo, he still plays a fun brand of basketball, but now they're just winning with it. With that being said, I'll give you the floor. What has caught your eye about the Hornets? We know what they do, but what has really stood out that might prove some longevity?
I mean, you got to give a lot of credit to the coaching staff, bro. And I didn't realize, is it Charles Lee over there? I guess he was a Boston assistant.
Well, from Boston,
and, Yeah, Paul Pierce been putting us up on game and giving us the history of him. But he's really kind of turned it around. I think it was more so when we seen a difference when it was, and it might have, I don't think this is on purpose. It might have just happened, organically. When LaMelo was on minute restriction and they started having him come off the bench. I don't know if that lit a fire on him or took him, a different mental space. But from there, not only the group did, maybe he took more of a backseat of like, all right, maybe it's not about me. And if he came off the bench, maybe he found something, or maybe just, I said something clicked for him. But when he started coming off the bench, they were still winning games. And he was playing well. And then, people say, oh, they benched Melo. Maybe he took it, in a different way, like, more serious. Like, oh.
Well, they did it. Well, part of the reason why they benched him, Danny,
because he's minute restriction. They wanted him to finish the game.
But other people were saying like he missed so much time. Yeah, other people saying other things. Yeah,
and I think the way, if you see how he in his press conferences, he kind of reacted that way. Like, I can still finish the games, bro. Like, I can still start. But I think it was more in his mind, maybe a demotion somewhat. And then Brandon Miller was doing what he does, but he kind of took a backseat and let Brandon Miller, Con Knipple, and then he started playing alongside those guys instead of trying to be the guy. And then once they had the pecking order in alignment, I think it just became easy. And then defensively, you got those guys, they ain't backing down from nobody. Musa and Miles, they gain suspensions. They just like Detroit. They don't give a damn. You know what I'm saying? Like, so and for them to continue to stay afloat and win games with those guys being out, it just shows you the character of quality and how good Brandon Miller is and Con Knipple. Of course, LaMelo is very good too, but those other two, and as a rookie, he's seasoned, bro. And he deserves Rookie of the Year. He's playing well. He's shooting lights out. He's got game to him. It's not just a three-point shooter. But those two, and Brandon Miller is showing very much some Paul George. Also, obviously people talk down on Paul George and disrespect him, but we forget how great he was in Indiana and OKC. Like, before the injury, he's had so many injuries before he broke his leg. Paul George was that dude, and Brandon Miller is kind of showing a lot of flashes of that. So you got to give a lot of flowers to everybody around it, just coaching staff, and then those young guys that are just kind of buying into it and having fun while they're hooping. You know what I'm saying? Before, it was Charlotte was like, it was the world of delinquents. They live in there, like, all these guys got DUIs or charges or this. They kind of chilled out, calmed down. Coach staff got them right. They got some vets over there. Even before they traded Colin Sexton, they had, Pat Connaughton over there. Like, they had some vets that put them in. They had Taj Gibson at one point. You could see things kind of turned around when they had that coaching staff and some of those guys sprinkled in to get them kind of shaping up in the right direction.
Yeah. So one of the things that came over from Charles Lee, it seems, is that 3-point volume. Remember when the Celtics kind of took off, Danny, when they started to become this juggernaut, it was when I don't know, when Joe Mazzulla,
we forget that he also knows them well. That's probably why they smacked Celtics up, because he knows their offense very well. And they also added Kobe White, which I'm very high on Kobe White. I think he has one of the most favorable contracts in the league of what he's capable of doing. But continue. My bad to cut you off.
Yeah, no, you're good. You're good. So it's just like I think for them, they have a system that exploits the 3-point shot. And when you have a pure-ass shooter like Con Knipple, and you have a shooter like LaMelo, who, while he might not be the best 3-point shooter, his boldness with his range changes the geometry or the gravity of the court. Brandon Miller could knock down. And Miles Bridges, you're not going to leave him open. So I just think the dynamic that they can create with the 3 ball with Con and LaMelo, because again, Con can shoot from anywhere
And Brandon.
on the move.
Yeah,
And
Con
Brandon
can
too.
shoot. It opens up the floor for Miles to actually work, and like he's athletic. He can still, she's capable, but he's more of a driver, athleticism, and Musa can just do. Those guys. You have a really good balance when you have those three guys stretching the floor like that, and you have driving lanes because of how deadly they are from the perimeter.
Exactly. And LaMelo's always been a magician with the ball. I'm very up on them. I'll be curious to see are they a better team than the Miami Heat?
I think so.
But can they beat the Miami? But can they beat the Miami Heat
playoffs,
and not even the playoffs, in a play-in, a one-off? You know what I'm saying? Are they better than the Atlanta Hawks? For sure they are. But can they actually beat those teams in a one-off? What will be interesting to see, Danny, is can they actually creep to the 6th seed? Right now, they're only 2.5 games behind the 76ers, who still don't have Paul George, who now Joel Embiid is nursing a new injury yet again. It's not out the realm of possibility that they get into the top 6 and give themselves a little bit of a cushion as it stands right now.
As long as they get to 7, they're good because they got 2 games to lose. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
or if you're 7 or 8, they're going to win one of those games. I feel like they're going to get up. If you get 7 or 8, you're solid. 6 would be great.
7 or 8 is good because they need one of those home games because Spectrum Center will go buzzing if they get.
You're getting 2 chances. You're getting 2 chances to win one, bro, to be in the playoffs, and I fully believe they're not going to lose 2 in a row. I don't think, especially the way they're hooping. They hoop like that. They'd have to have somebody hurt, not healthy, and they're playing really good basketball.
Now, last thing on the Eastern Conference, because also on Wednesday night, Giannis Antetokounmpo played his 2nd game for the Milwaukee Bucks since returning from his injury, and it did not make a difference. They got smacked.
They are getting clapped up, bro.
And Giannis even picked
Chicago. They lost to Chicago. They got clapped up by who was it when Giannis' first game back? He's on minute restriction.
Why is it escaping me?
It was a team
the Celtics without Jaylen Brown.
Sat Jaylen Brown. Yeah, guys clapped up, bro. I said this the other day on another pod or the platform. If I'm a season ticket holder, I'm a fan, I am not coming to those games no more. Like I would have been sold my ticket. Like I can't watch that no more. Like even if I was a Giannis fan, I would not want to see that man suffer and struggle in that type of situation. It just looks bad, bro. It's just bad all around. So it's ugly. And tonight I'm like, people are like, oh, Danny Green's hating. Y'all got clapped up again tonight. Like they're playing for a play-in. You know how crazy it sounds for a Giannis Antetokounmpo to sound playing for a play-in?
Not even locked in for the play-in. Like struggling to get there.
We're struggling to get there.
Yeah, they're 5 games back of the Atlanta Hawks right now. It looks like it's undoable to get there. And this is what is so interesting or maybe frustrating.
Pitiful.
If I was a Bucks fan, but I want Giannis for sure. But if I'm keeping it real, we're not getting to the play-in. And every game that Giannis potentially plays and they potentially win makes my lottery pick this year that we have worse. On top of the fact
he might get hurt
again. Might get hurt again. Like look at all.
It's a lose-lose.
Look around the league at how many quality players are not playing. And their teams are tanking.
Lauri Markkanen, Jaren Jackson Jr. Like you could look at whole Utah.
Anthony Davis.
Yeah, Trae Young. Even Zubac is not playing in Indiana. Zubac is chilling.
Right.
There's guys that are just chilling. So I didn't understand it. I know I appreciate Giannis's professionalism. I love his competitiveness and how he is approaching anything. Somebody has to save him from himself. And listen, man, we love you. We appreciate you. Go sit down somewhere, please. Like, just relax. Like, get healthy. We just want you to stay locked in. We're going to try to make the proper moves to keep you here. We're going to try to get a good draft pick, make some trades, or use that draft pick to get somebody to make us more competitive next year. You better believe that. And then you may be patient and wait, see what you do in the summer and like early in the summer. And if you don't do that by draft in early summer, August, I'm sure the rumors will be coming out again September.
Right. But right now, it just don't make any sense to me. It doesn't make any sense to me at all. Again, I'm not a Bucks fan, but if I was a Bucks fan, I would say to myself, why are we putting ourselves through this?
Are we doing? Yeah,
exactly.
Why? What are we doing? We are not helping ourselves in the draft. We're not helping ourselves.
What are we gaining
with Giannis?
It's crazy, bro. It's absolutely crazy. All right, let's keep it moving here. Okay, so this pod is going to come out on March 5th, Danny. So let's do a little thing that we like to do on this day in NBA history. So check this out. Dallas, March 5th. Dang, I forgot to get the year. Damn, my fault. But anyways, Dallas. This Dallas Mavericks, March 5th, some year, set a then NBA record for three-point attempts in the game with 49 during a 127-117 win over the New Jersey Nets. George McLeod, so I'll let you know how long ago it was. George McLeod makes 7 threes in an NBA record tying 20 attempts. Michael Adams of the Denver Nuggets also attempted 20 three-point field goals against the Clippers on April 12th, 1991. Now that mark was surpassed
it's crazy
by the
because
Houston Rockets.
That's like an average today's NBA for each team, 49. Like most teams are getting 4. That was a league high. most teams are probably getting like what 45, probably 45-ish. You get at least 40 to 50.
Right. The mark was surpassed by the Rockets 2019 when they attempted 73 pointers. I got a trivia question for you in a moment, but I think I would like to say, Danny, that I feel like you went through, how would I say this? You were fortunate when you started playing ball that the 3-point wasn't as popular as it is now. Because it's like everybody got to have one. But yet you were also still around like in the early phases of it, where if you picked it up quick or if you started specializing in it,
you were very valuable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because not everybody had one. Not everybody had a good or a great, you know what I'm saying? So, which, I mean, you could look at it in different ways. Like, damn, I could have maybe gotten more. I could have been even more about, like, got a higher clip, made more shots, maybe even had a higher percentage because we would have been taking more maybe, or maybe lower percentage, but I still would have had more attempts at doing so. But yeah, I do know where you're going with this, with the attempts. And said when I was in San Antonio, Pop was not a fan of 3, but he's not a dummy. He knows he has to adapt to it, and you have to take the 3. He was like, yo, you're not going to play unless you play defense. But you know, he didn't coach it or teach it like, oh, we need to get a bunch of 3s up. He was more of an inside-out type of coach and old school. Mm-hmm. But he knew he had to shoot the 3 ball in order to compete with the rest of the groups.
Do you remember the first coach or the first moment that somebody said, nah, let it fly? Like, no, we're going to get up. If you like when somebody says, no, if you can get 10 threes off, go ahead, get off 10 threes. Like, do you remember that? Do you remember that?
I've never had that. No, my Coach Holiday, shout out to him, man. Carolina
Coach Holiday. Assistant coach. Okay.
Assistant coach at Carolina. And he would just let it fly. He'd say that to a lot of guys, though. But he's like, yo, he wouldn't say get up 10. He's like, yo, you're a shooter. You're here to shoot. You know, you shoot it really good. You know, you and Wayne, let that thing fly. Don't even think about it. You know what I'm saying? I
didn't really consider you a shooter at North Carolina, though.
Like, I wasn't. I was a utility. Yeah. I was good at a lot of things, but not great at anything. But you knew I was the 5th option. So if I got to look or behind, don't hesitate. Shoot. Like, and you're very capable. So let it fly. Mm-hmm. But in San Antonio, Chad Forcier, shout out to him, and Will Hardy. I came in with him. Was my developmental guys, and you know, they'd be like, "Yo, don't even think about it, hesitate." But they didn't say get 10 up. But if you're open, you got to shoot it. You got to be a threat. The only time where I thought, as a team, where we felt like, "Oh, we're gonna get them up and get a good amount of them up," was in Toronto. You know, Nick was like, "We don't shoot mid range. Either you get you a layup, a dunk." You know, but we didn't say nothing about when Kawhi shot. Like, certain guys could shoot the mid range, but mainly just Kawhi. But it was like, yo, drive, kick, swing. If you don't got it, you drive, you get off of it. And if you have a shot, we shoot. And we're not getting up a ton of 3s, but that's the shots we want. We want at the rim, and we want 3s.
You're working for.
And that's when, you know, the analytics of the game started to kick in. It's like, oh, we found out. And that was to me like, oh, damn, we're really not shooting mid-range or 2s anymore. Like, we're just obsoleting those options. Like, we're just kind of getting rid of that option. So that's when I kind of felt that. But in Philly, it wasn't like that either because we had Doc. And it was like he's more of an old school coach. And LA, Frank is more of a defensive coach. And of course, we had Bron and AD. They're not a bunch of 3-point shooters. So we're not just, our offense is not going to be threes with them. You know, it was inside out, figure out, pick and roll with those guys. And then we got looks cool. So yeah, I never really had that opportunity of like, just go get them up, get as many shots up as you can. Again, the most of my career high in attempts per game was 6, and that was in Philly. And that wasn't by design. I didn't get plays drawn up for me.
Wait,
what? Really.
You said what?
Yeah.
Most you've made?
Most attempts per game.
Most attempts per game. Okay.
Yeah.
You remember how much you remember the most that you've taken in the game? That you
absolutely. Attempted? Yeah, absolutely. It was a COVID year. It was the COVID year. We played, I think it was a back-to-back against Miami. We only had like 6 guys. Mm-hmm. And we went into overtime.
Yeah.
Before this night, I don't think I might have attempted like 13, 14. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But I was always efficient. It would be like 7 or 8. This night, I got up 21. And
okay. How many points you scored?
Shit, it might have been 27. You know what I'm saying?
29.
Okay, so I might have got 1-2 in there. Because I was 9. I remember going out, like the record for Philly was 10, like the franchise record is 10.
Yeah, we talked about this.
JJ got 9, I had 9. And I was like 9 for 15. I was like 9 for 15, 9 for 16. I was like 9 for 16. Had a really good, efficient shooting looking going for the night. That overtime came, boy. I was hunting for that 10. I missed 5 straight, like 2 or 3 in and out. It just wouldn't drop. That 10th one would just not go in. There was a lid on that basket. And we ended up winning that game because I think Dakota, I think his name is Mathias, I forget his name. He actually went to Purdue. He knocked down a 3-ball for us to win the game. And we actually I think we let him go like a week later. But that game was like one of them COVID games where teams stayed in the city, played them back-to-back like twice in 3 days. And we were down, people out, sick, COVID. And I played a ton of minutes. You know, that year was ridiculous. It was absurd. They had me playing point guard sometime. I'm like, what the hell are we doing here? Like, we got to find ways to get guys healthy or find some other bodies. But yeah, I got up 21. That's definitely a career high of attempts.
That year, somebody in the NBA also set the record for most 3-pointers, the most 3-point attempts in a game. I already even gave you a big hint. Yeah, because it's that year too. So who do you think it was?
COVID year.
NBA record for 3-point attempts in the game.
I want to say it's not a superstar. I feel like it's like somebody like a Eric Gordon type or something like that. Who could it be?
I'm giving you 2 guesses.
Okay. And this is a East.
And I'll give you 1 hint.
All right, what's the hint?
Western Conference.
Okay. Western Conference. I want to say it was like my first mind thought was JR, but I don't think JR was around that much then at that point. I want to say because he was gone at that point. I'm gonna say I feel like it's like a Jordan Clarkson or I might just be Clay, honestly.
I'm not telling you if you're wrong or you're right unless you say it's an official guess.
My 2 guesses are Klay Thompson or Jordan Clarkson.
In 2018, Clay put up 24. Mm-hmm. Jordan Clarkson, no, he's not there on the list.
Okay.
Kind of crazy for you to not think of Steph Curry.
I would have thought, but I just didn't think because he makes most of them all the time. But I feel like people take more than him, and then I feel like he gets the most attempts per game. But I didn't think he would get the most in a game.
Yeah, he took on April 14, 2021 against the Thunder. He took 27, and he made. I knew that. And he made 16.
Really? So he now holds the record for single game threes made.
It's the second most threes made in the game. So somebody's made more, but with just
more than 16.
Yeah, I'm gonna look it up right now.
Who the hell's made more than 16 threes? I thought for sure, I thought Clay had it like 14. And then what? 16 threes? The hell? Somebody's made more than 16 threes in a game?
That's That's what this says. Let me double check right here. Oh, my bad. You're right. Clay, so you're right. So Clay, no, hold on. This doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I know I'm not tripping. Clay's usually, he held the record at 14, I feel like, at one point.
Clay, so no, there's no way. Hold on. We got a
glitch in the chat. GPT.
We got a glitch.
Chat GPT fucking it up, man.
I had the wrong. Okay, I had the wrong number. Okay. Yeah, Clay has the record with 14. Okay. But Steph did take
27 threes. How many did he make? 11? 12? Must have been 13. He probably was one short.
Nah, we got something going on here.
Yeah,
James, you're gonna have to edit this part out and make it smoother. Because this dumb thing is saying he went 16 to 27.
Yeah, I don't know.
So if he went 16 for 20, if he went 27, then he holds the record for most makes.
13 is his career high. That was against the New Orleans Pelicans in 2016. Yeah.
No, you're bugging. I got mad. I'm about to go to Claude. I'm about to go to Gemini. ChatGPT about to get.
It said his career high in attempts in the single regular season is 23 against Atlanta Hawks. That can't be right.
Nah, we gonna have to.
Yeah.
Hold on. Now I'm too curious.
Gotta find it. It.
So Klay Thompson holds the record for most attempts, is saying with 24. So you were right. James, you're gonna have to edit that out.
You froze up too, by the way.
James, just help us out with that edit, please.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, let me get back to the rest of this rundown because I don't know what.
Yeah.
All right. In 3, 2, 1. All right. So
I definitely thought it would be more though. I thought it'd be more attempts than 24, honestly.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's a lot of shots. It's a lot of threes. But I thought for sure like somebody would get up like, maybe it's just a team thing, but I thought like somebody in today's NBA would get up like 33s at one point. Like, you know what I'm saying?
It won't surprise me it won't surprise me at this point. The only thing about that, if you that many, usually like you're probably smacking the team. So like you're not gonna get.
Or you're getting punched, like, you know what I'm saying, when Devin Booker had 70. You know what I'm saying?
This is true. All right. Before we get out of here, I feel like the NBA is in a weird spot, Danny, because like every night you don't have like a handful of games that you want to watch because there's so many lopsided type of games.
Yeah,
but you
don't know who's in what mode.
Yeah, but you're also like, but don't get it twisted. I'm still excited for what's to come. Like the playoffs are going to be fire. But I also feel like this is a really nice time to see who's coming up, who's next. And so I've kind of like gravitated to watching a little bit more college basketball, especially with all the hype that's coming around this new draft class. And we're going to have one projected top 5 pick playing this weekend, if not 2, as Duke takes on North Carolina. With that being said, that's our top 5 for today. Danny, as somebody who played in the game multiple times, what is your top 5 Duke, North Carolina moments? You could have been in them. You could have been watching them. You could have just heard like anything related to that. Top 5 Duke, North Carolina moments.
There's definitely one. There's plenty that I've been in. I'm gonna try to go a different route though, and I'm gonna go at number 5. I'm gonna go with the Marvin Williams tip-in. I don't know if you remember that. The putback. They were in the Dean Smith Center. That kind of put them up for them to win and beat Duke at home. That was a big moment, and Marv was a freshman at that time. At number 4, I'm gonna go with my dunk against Duke on Greg Paulus. I'm gonna go number 4.
It's gotta be in everybody's top 5. That's for sure.
Definitely number 4. I'm gonna put Stackhouse's dunk at number 3. His reverse dunk was nasty. Obviously, she got a couple dunks, everything. But this one goes to just more so me watching, because a lot of those dunks and stuff happened. I was really young, and my memory is not as sharp as it like from when watching it as it is to current time. So at number 2, I'm actually go with this year. Seth Trimble. I watched that. I actually got a chance to watch that game. Him hit that 3-pointer against Duke. Yeah, bro, because it was a big moment for him.
It was a pure buzzer beater. Oh, these are your moments. These are your moments.
And I got a chance to work with the kid. I talked to him about, got him to come back to school and stay at Carolina, and I worked out with him this summer some. Know his family well. I know the struggles and the hurdles he's been through, and he had to change his shot. And we were not supposed to beat them. You know what I'm saying? We were down the whole game. Boozer, they're number 1 pretty much in the nation, and they got the number 1 pick who might be college player of the year at Boozer. And for him to hit that shot, and they stormed the court, which they shouldn't have. And then, of course, they have some Duke moments of saying, "Oh, we got punched in the face," and all of the dragging out the drama of things that never happened. But that was a big moment, and I was big for him, and I was big for the school. So I really liked that moment. And of course, number 1 is the Final Four, bro. Just beating Duke in the Final Four has got to be everyone's number 1 moment. Honestly, I'll put Seth's at number 5. I'll put Seth's at number 5. Marv's tipping at number 4. My dunk at number 3. Stackhouse number 2. And then you got to give Caleb Love some flowers. Even though he didn't finish his career as a Carolina Tar Heel, hitting that 3 at the top of the key, it's in the hallway. They have it and beating Duke in the Final Four. We will forever have bragging rights for the next 20, 30 years till we match up again with them, which may never happen again in the NCAA tournament or the Final Four. So that's definitely number 1.
So, but correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't North Carolina, didn't the Tar Heels, didn't y'all go into, what do they call it, the K-Dome?
Cameron Indoor Stadium. So my top 5 moments of me playing, I got plenty of those. We undefeated in Cameron.
I know you do. I know you do, but
number 1, Tyler beat on their senior night. Tyler came in as we were freshmen. Tyler hitting 3s. We got them. And Cameron, we were undefeated in Cameron. So I got plenty of moments.
Yeah, but okay, I know you do. But didn't one Tar Heel team beat Duke at Cameron Indoor in Coach K's last game?
Yeah. Yeah.
How's that not the top 5?
That was the Final Four year.
Oh, that was the Final Four year. They also
I think that's Coach K's last year, his Final Four. Get him up out of here in the Final Four. It was a double whammy. So I think that was his last game in the Final Four.
Yeah, so you beat him at Cameron.
But I think they also lost. I don't know if it was us that beat them. And we beat them in the senior night too, I think, or their last game in Cameron.
That's what I'm saying.
So it was a double whammy. We got them twice, you know what I'm saying, at Cameron, and in the Final Four got their ass. So yeah, that group, RJ Davis, Caleb Love, that group, those 2 guys leading the charge. Shout out to them. That was big time year.
So last question on Duke, North Carolina. Do you think in this new NIL era that the rivalry could still be strong?
Absolutely. I don't think it's going anywhere. Even when one team is not as good, because anything can happen on any given night in a rivalry game. We are not supposed to win that game this year. They have the better team. Even when they had, top picks, like when they've had Zion, they had Cooper Flag. There's been moments where we have beaten them and they've beaten us when we've had the top picks and when they've had the top picks. That's what makes a rivalry. It don't matter who's on that floor or who's going to become what superstar. you could still lose in that game. And because people are camping out, it's just the biggest rivalry in the history of sports, and people are going to take it serious. So, yeah, I just don't see it going anywhere. And after seeing Seth knock down that tray to end the game, I'm like, oh yeah, it's still very much in full effect. Like, you would think, and sometimes you're like, oh, it's gonna be lopsided. We're gonna clap them up, or they're gonna beat up on us this year. Sometimes it happens, but either way, people still show up, and there's gonna be moments like that where it's lopsided, and the team that has the least amount of talent still wins. And you're like, oh, you know what I'm saying? This is a rivalry.
I said it was my last one, but I have one more.
Go ahead.
What is the chance? Okay, from a scale from 1 to 10, 10 being hell no, or 10 being hell yes, 1 being hell no. How likely would it be that one day somebody transfers from Duke to Carolina or from Carolina to Duke? In the new NIL era, Danny, I wouldn't rule it out.
0.
Danny, let me ask you a question.
0.
You running the NIL fund at Carolina.
0.
And there's a kid at Duke who wants out.
Hell no.
You wouldn't take him, Danny.
It's not about us taking them.
Cameron Boozer says he wants to come back next year, but he doesn't bang with John Shire anymore. But he loves
It's not about, of course,
Carolina.
Of course, the coaching staff, the player, you don't go to these schools without hating another school. And once you become a part of one of those schools, the hate grows stronger. It's not about the staff.
What if you hate your experience at what if you what about
they might go to Wake Forest or State. So we've seen a guy we had a kid go to NC State. So yeah, that's happened, but that's kind of rivalry too. It's not the same.
I'm talking about you're a McDonald's All-American. John Shire promises you some burn your freshman year. You get no burn.
Why would we
you could go to
we don't want you. Fuck out of here. You didn't choose us one and you get no burn. Stay your bum ass on the other side. The hell are we talking about? That's why I said 0. Ain't no way. First of all, the player, too much is coming into play when it comes to the player. Too much is coming into play when it comes to the staff as well. Like, we're not paying you to come over here because you ride the bench over here too. FOH.
Yeah, no, sir. There could be certain like they could have like a top 5 draft pick at the point guard spot. So
out of here. Out of here. FOH. If he's nice and he's playing there, so he's gonna be happy. He's gonna leave, or you know what I'm saying, mind you, you're gonna have that hate for the other school just like you have for them. So he ain't gonna want to do it as a player. Like, he'll go somewhere else, maybe Wake Forest or State, like it's the closest. But I still don't see that. Very rarely. So I think we had a player go to State, but very rarely do you see somebody go to that big of a rivalry school when you've already been in a school and a team rivalry school accepts you. Like, oh yeah, we want you to open arms, especially if you didn't play. It's just that just don't happen. I just don't see that. I'll give it a 1. But I mean, anything's possible. I'll give it a 1 though.
Could you imagine like the Michigan quarterback? He graduates and he gets a graduate year. He gets a postdoctorate year, whatever they be giving them, the 5th year.
Yeah.
And he goes to Ohio State to be the quarterback for 1 year. Like,
yeah,
it would be crazy. It would be crazy.
I can see it happen more so in football than basketball because there's so many players. Like,
and you end up spending a lot more time. And you end up spending a lot more time in football too. Like, usually after one, you could be out of there in 1 year, like in the NBA. So, all right, I'm about to get out of here real quick. Just on Thursday's game. Oh, damn! We'll save this for the next pod, Danny. We're gonna save this for the next pod. But Pistons at Spurs. Who you got?
Ooh, Spurs just got them, right?
Yeah, Spurs just got them in Detroit.
I feel like Pistons are gonna come back and get their revenge. Everybody's back too, right? Beef Stew.
Yeah, Beef Stew was back for the other one too.
Yeah, no, I think he sat out that one.
Danny,
He got the most games.
You and I have to have a conversation about this. And then most likely to pull off the upset. Raptors at Timberwolves or Warriors at Rockets?
Who's the Raptors at Timberwolves? Yeah, Warriors beating the Rockets? I don't see that.
So the thing I want to, we're going to go right after this. The thing I wanted to talk to you about, and we're going to save it for the next pod. You remember what the Detroit Pistons did at the trading deadline?
Pistons, what they did? Sarge and Herter?
You know how many minutes Herter has played?
0. He's not played at all. They're not. You know how that go. You know who coaching over there. You know who coaching.
We gotta talk about general managers and front offices. The general managers
is a disconnect.
And head coaches being on one accord. If you're gonna make a trade at the trading deadline, it's one thing.
Does Sarge even play much? I don't think Sarge plays much either.
But Sarge wasn't playing in general. Like Sarge wasn't playing in general, so I don't think it's a big deal.
But what's the point of getting him then? You know what I'm saying? Like, just to have it just in case.
Probably some type of salary relief, but like
Kelly Olynyk, in case throw him in there. We need to stretch 4 or 5. You know what I'm saying?
I watched the Pistons. I've watched the Pistons recently lose to the Cavs. We watched them lose to the Spurs, and it's evident not just with those losses, but in general they need shooting. So they trade for a shooter, and the shooter doesn't play.
Yeah, kind of crazy. Makes the move irrelevant. Yeah.
And then you know what's going to happen. You know what's going to happen. He's going to get thrown out there in the playoffs game.
When they're fucking losing, app down 0-1 or so. You're like, oh, we need you now. Oh, you do? No shit. You have no minutes on the road with the group that he's playing with. Let me not slander this man. Well, James, you might want to edit some of this. But bruh.
Yeah, well, James, don't publish this just yet because it's going to be better when it actually plays out that way. Because that's how it's going to. But I was watching the game.
It's going to be a time when they're going to need him. Like, are they going to throw him in and he's not ready? It's like, yo, you got to incorporate this guy into the system and practice. In games, y'all win enough games and blowouts so you could get the guy 10 minutes. Like, come on, man. Early in the game, throw him in. You know what I'm saying? Like, so he knows the system. He's going to get some minutes with Cade, and he knows how to play with Tobias and Durant. Like, he's going to get thrown out there in a playoff setting and be like, damn, I never played with these guys before, so we don't really have a rhythm or know how to feel each other on the court. So, yeah, man. I feel bad for the guy because at least Curtis was hooping in Chicago. Even though they were losing, he's still hooping in Chicago. Now he's just dressing up and sitting on the sideline.
You know exactly how it's... Bro, when I saw that, I was like, damn, I've seen this before.
And we know how it ends.
Yeah. Damn shame. All right, James, save that one. It probably will be better placed when it actually comes to fruition. All right, we got to get up out of here. We will see you guys next Wednesday night / Thursday morning, depending on when you download this pod. Until then, Danny, tell them what to do.
Read, rate, subscribe, review.
Peace.